Okay. So for the lab, we were given the Amazon data. Now, is anybody on here using the online version of Data Miner and downloading the data set from the SAS the SAS library? So everyone's using the PC version, and everyone used the data set that came off of Canvas, right? So for that, we're developing they developed the web scraper. We have a data set of 4 variables, and when you are setting up your variables in your import node or in your data set, make sure that you change star rating to ordinal. This was the only thing that we found in setting up the clusters or in setting up the nodes. All of this was correct. Everything was the exact same except for that right there. That was set to interval. We had to change it to ordinal. Now, we brought in the text parsing node and opened up, we clicked the ellipsis next to ignore parts of speech. I'm just going to bring this down here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit. My screen may get weird on you. Try to move some things around so we can kind of get a little side by side. Okay, so for the text parsing node, we came down to the ignore parts of speech ellipsis, and we made sure that we highlighted these 8: auxiliary, conjunction, determinant, interjection, numeric, participle, preposition, and pronoun. Then for part B, and we ran it, for part B, we did the text filter, and we said, check the spelling, yes, and limited the minimum number of documents to 10, and left maximum number of terms as the dot, whatever the dot is supposed to mean. For the text cluster, we limit the descriptive terms in text cluster to 12. And then for limit the number of multi-term topics in the text topic, number of multi-term topics, we limit that to 10. So this is our diagram. And then for my number 1, the text filter and the roll by frequency, and this is where we have a differentiation. I have 2 columns, Bailey had 2 columns, but Christian and Megan had 7 or 8 columns. So we checked, our nodes are configured the exact same. The only thing we can think of is the fact that we thought maybe it was a different data set, but Dr. George confirmed that it's the same data set, but that usage of the online versus the download, depending on what version you have or what kind of hardware you're using, she's not going to worry about the differentiation. We had to make some modifications to the questions, but we just go with what we had. So on that note, does anybody else other than me and Bailey have 2 columns? And does anybody else have 7 or 8 columns? Or does anybody else have 13 or 20 or how many ever you have? Does anybody hear me?
This is what I have too.
This is what you have as well? Okay, thanks, Aparna. All right, cool. Then for number 2A, we went to the filter viewer. So for text filter, we went down to filter viewer in the ellipsis under results. And is it opening somewhere? Did I not click it? What happened? Filter view, there we go. All right, so it is asking us, close the whole thing. What is the first noun group term in the terms window? And this is what I have for the first noun group, laptop. What is the frequency and number of documents the noun group occurs within? And the frequency we have is 4,812. The number of documents is 1,933. And then how many synonyms are there for this noun group? Now we have some differentiation here as well. I have 4, Bailey had 4, I think Megan had 5, maybe Christian had 5 as well. They may not have been the same 5, they might have each had something different, but generally within a term or two, this is what I had, and this was the screenshot that I put down just arbitrarily, just to support the answers. Didn't ask for it, but it doesn't hurt either. For number 3, here's where things got a little bit squirrely. Looking at the cluster frequency. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to text cluster, and I'm going to look at the results. And I only have, and Bailey, I think as well, only has 7 clusters. Bailey might have had 10. I had 7. Somewhere we had the same, somewhere it was different. But so the percentage of comments are associated with cluster 7. Okay, Samantha has 7 too as well. That's good. That's reassuring. Thank you. It's always nice to be crazy and have company. They were asking for, don't worry, Aparna, don't worry. Yeah, like I said, we're all special individual little snowflakes on this one. I think we just have to kind of accept that you know, we're getting, does anybody else, just for Aparna's sake, anybody else have 11? Anybody? Come on, come on.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, all right.
This is what it is.
It's good to be individual. It really is. Don't worry about it. I'm sure there are other statisticians out there that have had this the only answer out of the entire class. So for A was asking, 3A was asking about the percentage associated with cluster 10. Because I didn't have 10, I just chose 7. If you have 11 clusters, use 10. Now hopefully it's the same as everybody else's 10. But I had to choose 7, and I went with the percentage here of 24%. And I just did a screenshot of both the pie chart and the cluster IDs to show where I got my numbers and how they correspond to the pie chart. 3B, what are the descriptive terms? I just basically just wrote these terms here in cluster 7, and I wrote them here for part B. In your own words, what do you think the cluster is describing? So if anybody else had cluster 7 or 7 clusters, this was my interpretation of these words. That a customer is having a hard time deleting a drive in Windows operating system with the keyboard they ordered through Amazon. That's my interpretation. Take it for what you will, a grain of salt, a shot of penicillin, whatever it is, that's what I came up with. For number 4A, the topic ID, and what was that? Is that here? Was that here? Yeah. So which topic ID has the largest number of terms used? So the topic ID with the number of terms, number 2, topic ID number 2, and that has 227 terms. And the term cutoff you can see down here is 0.027, number of terms 227. So that was my screenshot. And then number 5, open the interactive topic viewer in the text topic node. So it came down here, I hit text topic highlighted, came down to topic viewer under results. And this one was tricky because you don't have a whole lot of room to expand columns, but describe this topic in your own words and select the third topic under topics. And it wants us to describe this topic in our own words. So what I said was, since I have 603 documents, to me that's 603 customer comments. So 603 customers complain that they have a service problem with a warranty repair on a computer item purchased from Amazon. That's just my interpretation of those words in the topic filter, and using that number of documents as my starting off point. And I gave that as a screenshot. 5B, looking at the terms window with the third topic selected, how many terms have a term weight above 0.100? So I came down here to the terms and I went down until I found the first instance of a number above 0.100, which was 0.102. And I counted up and to the top and got 19 terms above 0.100. I couldn't expand this or shrink it. You can only collapse it, which is weird because they have this up arrow and it's collapsing. It kind of threw me for a loop. But that's why I just gave the text answer and not a screenshot. So for number 5C, looking at the document window with the third topic selected, what is the star rating for the customer comment with the total weight? And the original question was a weight of 0.342, but I don't have 0.342. I have a 0.343. So I modified that question to show 0.343. And with that, I have a star rating of 1. Okay, same for you, Aparna. Good, thank you. That is the lab. That's everything. So how does everyone feel, despite whatever inherent differences there might be before our individual and cumulative results? Does anybody have any questions about what was done, how it was done, and how the answers were found and retrieved? If not, then I'm going to call this done and turn it in because I'm feeling strong and feeling good and feeling tired and ready to move on to other things to close this semester out. So if anybody has any thoughts, any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate
My
this.
pleasure. I'm thankful for this group. I appreciate having the chance to work with all of you. I'll post both videos once they're done processing, and I'll send out the email, let you know when the links are available. So if you have any questions, but at this point, I'm gonna stop the recording